Well, I'm going to do an impersonation and y'all tell me who this is. Damn, y'all went off. Yo, got it going on, he would have said. Well, first of all, I want to thank Father Joe for taking my whole eulogy, because he said it all. So I wrote me a couple of notes here, and we could get started. First of all, Rose, the family, Paul in heaven, everybody here, we are family. We truly, truly, truly are family. And Big Dave touched us each in a special way that we'll never, ever, ever forget. And if you don't mind, I'd like to take a little stroll down memory lane with Big Dave. And what I did for last night, I decided I was going to be Big Dave. I said, I'm going to channel Big Dave. So what I did last night is I just got upstairs. I sat with just my drawers and my t-shirt. I did. I said, I'm going to be my man. Oh, I love to see y'all laugh. We gotta laugh. We gotta laugh because we're gonna cry. We gotta laugh. So I got on the phone and I started calling, and I would have called each and every one of you, but Big Dave's the only friend I had that I could call at 11:30 at night and have a conversation. So I called all our guys I could think of, and I called Vaughn up, and I said, Vaughn, how did Big Dave become a coach? He said, well, Fred, he said, let me tell you what happened. He said he played for Coach Culmer at Carver. And he said, Vaughn said he was in the 8th grade and he was pretty much kind of the trainer. And he said Dave was not good. He said Dave was not good. He said Dave didn't have a behind. So every time he'd go back to the huddle, he had to pull his pants up, take his time, and all the Carver graduates can see that. And he was so bad, they'd have to run 10 extra wind sprints every practice because Big Dave got him in a bind. But he said what Coach Culmer did for the kids at Carver was he'd bring them to the Southern games, and at the time Southern didn't have lights at the games, so they'd play in the afternoon. And he influenced Dave, and Dave decided he was going to start becoming a coach. So I called Bros up, and I said, Bros, tell me about the Stone Junkies. We all knew about the Stone Junkies, but tell me about the Stone Junkies. He said, well, in 1970, he said, we kind of all put the Stone Junkies together. And he said, the thing I'm proudest of is so many young kids. We practiced every day, every day, every day, and we kept kids off the street. But he said, the thing with Dave, when he coached, he had to have 1 Miller Lite in his hand, and he had another Miller Lite in his pocket. So in between, coaching, he always had a spare. So you had to get Dave a spare. So I said, Vaughn, what was y'all most memorable game that y'all had? He said, well, one of them, Fred, was unbelievable. He said, we went to Houston, Texas, and we played a team from Austin. He said, a bunch of guys that were supposed to be pro athletes, the best in the world. There's no way the Stone Junkies were supposed to win. He said, no way. But he said, we had an open field with no fence. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember, huh? I'm seeing y'all. I'm seeing y'all raise your hand. So I don't know. I don't have all the players just right, but Vaughn played first and second. Hippolyte was at short. Frenchie was at third. But then that's all he did, and then he put a short outfield, and then he put some guys almost in the street. And he said them boys just wanted to keep jacking that ball. And he said they were catching fly balls in a highway. And they won. And Dave said, I'm going to see if y'all are men. 99 degrees, Houston, Texas. Wild Child was there. Wild Child was there. And he basically, no water. The men had to just drink beer. Evidently, Dave did not go to dehydration school. He didn't know. So I kept making some calls last night, and I called Karen McFall, his nurse. And Karen and Dr. Degater, we need to give them a big round of applause. They took care of Dave. I'm telling you, Oh, yeah. So I said, Karen, how was, let's talk about Dave, because Dave would always call the drugstore, and it was never his fault. It was never Big Dave's fault. So I said, Karen, what do you remember the most about Big Dave? She said, every time his lab work was horrible, he'd say, Karen, I don't understand it. All I eat is chicken and lettuce. I said, Karen, what was your most memorable event with Dave? She said it was when he broke his ankle and he lived at Paul's in Parks. And Dr. Degatere went pick him up, brought him in the truck. To this day, Dr. Degatere's back ain't never been the same. It ain't never been the same. They brought him over there. He had some new jeans on, some brand new jeans. They took the jeans off. You know what I'm going to say, Vaughn? Wait till y'all hear this. Father, forgive us. He says, they put the cast on. Well, they couldn't get his jeans over the cast. Dave said, y'all ain't tearing my jeans. Y'all ain't tearing my jeans. I love them jeans. They had to wrap him up in a hospital sheet, bring him back to Parks with Paul. That had to be a sight, huh, y'all? So then I called Big Howard last night, and I said, Big Howard, give me something. I said, because we all hurting. He said, Fred, I would call Dave, if I had to describe Dave Thibodeau, he was the drum leader. He led the poor. He led people that needed something. He could connect the dots. He could make sure that that poor guy got medical care, or he could see if somebody couldn't be buried, he'd have the benefit. He said he was the drum leader of all of us. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Big Howard hit it right. So I said, Big Howard, what would get you with Dave? Because they were almost like an old married couple, huh, Rose? Yeah, they were almost like an old married couple. He said, what would get me with Dave is every time I'd go eat with Dave, he said he would say, I'm on a diet. He said, I'm not eating today. But he said that son of a gun would eat at everybody's plate. Everybody's plate. That's right, y'all. Raise your hand if you can testify. Oh, yeah. Raise your hand if you can testify. So then I called Sheila Landry. I said, Sheila, y'all been in the bank many times. What do you remember? She said, every time I would call him to go do something, he'd say, I can't go, Sheila. She'd say, why? I got to go exercise at McLeod's. And you know, there's just so much, and I'm really doing this eulogy from each and every one of you. It's just not me. Every one of us had a Big Dave story. Every one of us have a Big Dave story. And I tell you what's moving my heart is we ought to get together once a year and have a Big Dave party. We ought to do that. We ought to have a Big Dave party. We ought to find us a place and we'll have us a Big Dave party. Vaughn, I'm putting you in charge. I'm putting you in charge, Vaughn. But I want to, if I can, and I don't want to keep us longer, but why leave the love right now? Can I tell y'all a couple of my Big Dave stories? I never forget, I met Big Dave in 1981 at the drugstore. We opened up in Parks, and I said, I need to meet some of the folks. Deb and I had just opened up. And they said, you got to meet Big Bros, Big Ambrose, and you got to meet Big Dave. And I met them both, and we lost Big Ambrose at too young an age. And Big Dave became truly, truly, truly my brother. I can't tell you how much I love the man like you love the man. And I can remember, and I wore this for the Stone Junkies today. I wore this tie for the Stone Junkies. And what I'd never forget was, I said, Dave, I want to play with the Stone Junkies. He said, oh no, you're not good. He said, you're not good. He said, you're not good. He said, you can come watch the Stone Junkies, but you can't. So I said, okay, so at the time, the Junkies kind of evolved and had a basketball team. And I'll never forget, we had a major tournament for a friend of mine, Chris Angel. His daddy was dying of cancer. We were struggling paying the bills. We had a tournament and the Stone Junkies came to Brobridge Senior High. There were 32 teams and it was unbelievable. The Stone Junkies beat people that had played college ball, but the first game that we had, and I don't know how many of the Stone Junkies were there, I had gotten a really weak team to play them because I had to make sure my home base was staying. I had to keep my base with the Junkies because the Junkies follow. And my little brother picked up a team, and don't you know he picked up Derek Taylor and 3 or 4 guys that played at LSU. I said, are we in trouble? I said, Dave, I think I'm going to ref this game. I'm telling you, the Stone Junkies got every call that day. I had to make sure we had the Stone Junkies close. So, Dave let me play a couple of times with the Stone Junkies. I had the jersey. He put me in a couple of times. I said, Dave, I'm disrespecting the jersey. You better take me out. So we love sports together. So we formed a city league basketball team, Mills Cashway Pharmacy. We went purple and gold, and there were several of us. We tried to play, and we had some really good players. Gerard played. We had some good guys. We played, and I'll never forget that one night, and it was said this. One thing about Dave, he could lip the heck out of you and tell you what he's got to tell you, but in that same breath, he just loved you, loved you, loved you, loved you. And he did the same thing with all the kids. I mean, there's so many kids that are now going the straight and narrow path of life. We just will never know all the success we've had that he's done behind closed behind closed doors. So anyway, we playing one night, and we playing a good team, a really, really good team. And Gerard Dugas, I don't know if Gerard's here tonight. If Gerard's not here. Gerard got a horrible technical foul. Horrible technical foul. And we're about to lose the game. So he takes Gerard out. And he says, Gerard, take all Fred's stuff off. What? He said, all of it. Gerard listened to him. Gerard takes the jersey off. He said, the pants too. The pants too. Gerard's just sitting there on the bench, listening to Dave. He said, you gonna respect the jersey? I said, Dave, that's not the Lakers, that's Mills Cashway Pharmacy. He said, no, take it off. Well, it gets late in the game, and I said, Dave, we need Gerard back in. You gonna respect the jersey, Gerard? Yeah, put it back on. That's the memory of Dave. I called Wheelo last night. Wheelo is one of my dearest friends in my life. I said, Will, what do you remember the most about Dave? He said, Fred, you remember we had a party one night, and I just like to spoil Wheelo. I don't know what it is. So Dave, we in there, and Wheelo goes, Dave, I don't drink Miller Lite. He said, you what? You don't drink Miller Lite? He said, that's free beer. You better drink that beer. So I said, Dave, Wheelo don't like Miller Lite. I'm going to go to the store and get him some Coors Light. He likes Coors Light. He went, don't make me lip you right here in front of those people. Wheelo, drink that beer. And this one, I just got I could talk for 2 or 3 days with Dave. But as much as he liked to be a macho man, he had some little things he was scared of. Big Dave was deathly afraid of an escalator. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? I think we, at the Superdome, when St. Martinville was playing for the state title, and we went to Hilton, and you got to take the escalator up and down. So I said, Dave, let's go up and see all the guys. Deb's with me. We got a bunch of people there. And he's looking at the escalator, and I'm going to do the impersonation of him, because the escalator's going up, he's doing this. I said, you can't get on the escalator? He said, Fred, I'm scared of escalator. I said, I can't believe that. But then this is, I guess, the part I just, I got to wrap it up sooner or later, because it's like I don't want to leave Dave, and I don't want to leave y'all, and I don't want to leave this memory. But I'll never forget, we stood on this altar, and I think everybody kind of in the first row was at the wedding. I won't tell y'all about the bachelor party, because Rose, we took a vow. Coach Pierre, Coach, we took a big vow. We took a blood oath. We never sing. We'll all say it in heaven, but we're not going to sing. And I remember standing there, next to Rose and Dave. And it was just probably everybody that's in here is now. And we could just feel that it was right. We could feel that Dave had finally met his soulmate. We could feel that after so many years of being a bachelor, he found his lady. And the church was just like it is now. There were people all along the walls. And I do have to make one little side note. Chubb told me today that he dressed Big Dave for the wedding. Big Dave didn't know how to put his cufflinks on, his cummerbund, and his bow tie. Chubb, thank you for doing that. And I never forget when he was pronounced man and wife, and he kissed the bride. I heard all the men along that section. I never heard that before. They went, well, I'll be damned. He got married. And everybody left. I think it was me, Rose, Chubb, and about 4 more for communion. Everybody was heading to the reception. I just want to one little story I did want to tell. I did forget that. I asked my wife, Deb, last night. I said, Deb, what do you remember most about Dave? She said, I remember when my sister-in-law had just started teaching at Little Parks Primary. And Dave went to set up the classroom for her. He wanted to make sure she was good, the kids were good. I was doing something, I walked in, there's Big Dave sitting on about a 2nd grade chair with a pair of little bitty scissors, and he's making some little apples to put on the bulletin board. And that's Dave. That's Dave. His greatest work was when nobody saw it. His greatest work we will never, ever know. Only you kind of know. So what's the message I got to leave us? Because we got to have something in our heart to leave with right now. We got to have something in our heart. Because when everything's gone and you're by yourself and you want to pick up that phone and call Big Dave, like I tried doing a couple of times this week and I realized he wasn't there, it just stunned me. I didn't know what to do. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to remember that kid that's not on the straight and narrow, and we're going to have to straighten him out. We're going to have to do what Dave called me on last Wednesday and told me on the phone. He called me up and we started talking late at night. I was heading back from Baton Rouge, and this is a typical Dave call. Dave, what's going on? Not too much, baby. What you up to? I said, not too much. What you got? You know how you call that lives on the back of Zinzin over there? I said, who's that man that's married to Taunt Beb? You know how you call. I said, well, how you call needs? He said, how you call needs a new hip, and we can't get him in at UMC. I said, okay, I'm going to call the legislative staff, Jill or Yvette, and get it done. He went, I did that already. I just want to let you know. That was Big Dave. But I keep wondering if I could talk to him one more time. What would he tell me? And I tried talking to him during this ceremony. And I think this is what he told my heart. He told me, he said, I'm good. He said, I'm good. He said, I don't have diabetes anymore. He said, I'm good. He said, y'all take care of Rose and all the kids and Bruiser. Let's make sure when Bruiser walks on that field, we follow in Bruiser. He's saying the Parks community, Stone Junkies, don't give up. Keep it going. Keep the tradition going. He's telling this church here to continue its growth and make sure at the next fair you get 10 cases of chicken and call me because I'm going to have to buy it. He's also telling the young generation, you got to step up. Your turn's coming up. And he's also saying that he saw Paul and all the rest and things are good. He's already got St. Peter to get him one of them big screen TVs because football season's coming up. But he's in no pain. And he's saying any little thing that I touched you with, keep it going. So let us remember the spirit of Big Dave. Let us remember that when we can do that extra thing that nobody's looking, let's do it. And I'm going to ask you for just one thing if you could. Let's act as though Big Dave could walk in one more time and we could greet him with the biggest round of applause. God bless Big Dave.